Go. Hi, and welcome back to the Unfinished Journey podcast, where we say whatever the fuck we want because it's our journey, like it or not. I am Cindy, and with me as always is Gabriella. Hi, Gabriella.
Hi, Cindy.
Today we have a fun one for you. We are going to be talking about fasting, and all of the benefits and the different types, some different types, not all the different types, and some of our experiences with fasting. With that, Gabriella, do you want to start us off here with your take on fasting?
I would love to. I would love to. Fasting is, it's so good for the body. And before I get into the different kinds of fasting, etc., I wanted to dedicate this to our women listeners and to highlight that there's a lot of information out there that talks about the benefits of fasting, one of them being fat loss and, managing your weight and having more clarity and whatnot. What is not highlighted so much, and what our women listeners will benefit from hearing, is that most of the studies that are done out there are based on the male autonomy. On the male physiological
Anatomy.
anatomy. Thank you. Today I cannot speak. Yes,
It's okay, I
on the
got you.
male
I got you.
anatomy. I was like, that does not sound good. So yes, it's focused on studies of healthy men that are in their early 20s. And as we know, women have a completely different cycle and different way of processing energy and food and all the things that fasting entails. So I'm going to mention Dr. Mindy Pels. She has this awesome book, and I also believe she has a program. And the book is called Fast Like a Girl. And it teaches you how to fast for your stage in life, and how to fast for the time of the month that you're in, and much more, and how to do it effectively so that you don't raise your cortisol hormones and you don't elevate your stress hormones, so that you could work with the fasting so that you could benefit from the fasting effects. Yes, that is my little intro on that. And so the fasting that I've had experience with, and I think it's it could be very powerful, are intermittent fasting. And also I've experimented a little bit with dry fasting, which I could get into a little bit later. Juice fasting, and partial fasting too. Yeah. What are the main fasts that you experimented with, Cindy, and what do you like about them?
I intermittent fast every day. I only eat between the hours of 11 a.m. and 7 p.m. I'm not eating that whole time, but my meals are within that time frame. And I also have done extended fasting, and I've done water fasting, and juice fasting, I guess I guess it wasn't really juice, but like lemon water types of thing, kind of fasting. And doing research for this, I learned of a new one called circadian rhythm fasting, and I kind of want to touch on that a little bit too, because it's super interesting.
Mhm.
Um, but I've had a love-hate relationship with fasting, and we'll go into that a little bit more too, about fasting on different, like you had mentioned, different cycles women have, and different times of their lives. But yeah, I just fasting has been good for me. Intermittent fasting has been really good for me. Um, and I try to I intermittent fast, like I said, every day, but I try to add like a long-term fast every like month or 6 weeks to kind of reset everything and undo all the damage I might have done through the week, through the time frame, the month, whatever, and then kind of reset things. But I've had mixed results with those long-term fastings, and we'll get into that as well. Um, so, Gabriella, what are some of the benefits that you have noticed with fasting, with your fasting experience? Like, what are your some like health benefits or?
Mhm. Yeah. What I've noticed when I'm fasting, and just like you, I do intermittent fasting as well. I usually do like 10 to 16 hours, depending on where I am with my period, and then go up to 32 hours. What I've noticed is I am very, very productive when I'm fasting. Incredible. Like my clarity is 10x. I have way better energy levels, and um I just I feel very, very good. Also, weight management and in some cases fat loss. And also, once you reach 18 hours, 18 to 36 hours, uh, autophagy happens. And what that means is basically all your cells that are dead or they're not working properly are getting flushed out of your system. And so that's when people may experience, headaches or being a little lightheaded. And if you are doing a water fast, then just make sure you get some homemade natural electrolytes, like get a little bit of salt in your system, and or also minerals, right? Um, yeah. And yeah, it's also like it provides me the focus and intention, to also like go within a little bit more, and that's been really nice. Like I do my best whenever I fast over 24 hours to incorporate a spiritual aspect to it, and it really centers it in. What about you?
Um,
What are some of the effects you've noticed for you?
well, I've noticed similar things. Like clarity and like enhanced brain function and a lot of like productivity. I also have noticed that I well, in my like long-term fasts, the first time I did a long-term fast, I actually gained 2 pounds. The second time I did it, I lost 5 pounds. So I don't know how that happens. Water weight, maybe, I don't know. So I've had kind of ups and downs with that. But I noticed that when I'm like, I'll just take intermittent fasting, for example. I feel like it gives me less time in the day to eat crap. So, what I am filling up on is like good things for me. So it helps me not eat the crap, or the things that, will make me feel bad. So, or make my body feel bad. Um, it also has helped, I think it helps with my metabolism as well because I have gotten in, I was on kind of a stalemate with my weight loss situation journey, whatever you want to call it. And I started intermittent fasting, and I think it might have, I think it helped with the metabolism and starting to kickstart some weight loss. And well, you know what? Some like, uh, inch loss. I'm like trying to let's not focus so much on the weight and focus on what my body looks like. So my body is changing, and it started to make bigger strides when I started intermittent fasting. Um, my most two recent experiences with fasting, long-term fasting, was I did an 86-hour fast, and it went great. The first 24 hours was just water. The rest of the days I was could eat bone broth or drink bone broth, and the bone broth, I could drink 32 ounces or 16 ounces, whatever, twice a day, twice in that day. And I did that until the fast was over after 86 hours. And it went great. Everything was wonderful. I had a lot of energy. Everything like my body was just like, yeah, let's do this. The second time I did the same fast on the same days, different times of the month, and my body was like, nope, stop what you're doing right here. I was weak. I had no energy. Like if I stood up even slowly, it was like my vision went black. Like, if you stand up too fast, um, I was so weak that I couldn't even go out for my regular walk. So I had to like figure out, I had to break my fast early, and drink a protein shake so that I could have energy for said walk because I don't miss my exercise times. And it was a completely different experience, and in doing some research and listening to what people had to say, like, and you had mentioned that doctor. For me, it was like right after. It was 2 weeks. The first time was 2 weeks before my period, and the second time was a day after my period. So I don't know if that had anything to do with it, or maybe it did, but like I said, my experiences with fasting has been so vast and like so completely different, doing the same things, that the only thing that I really have had any consistency with is the intermittent fasting. It's consistency and success. So there is that.
Yeah, I could relate to the, kind of like a bit all over the map result. About like 4 or 5 years ago, I was also experimenting with intermittent fasting and also extended fasting. And yeah, after a while, I was doing it too often, and that had the opposite effect, where it raised my cortisol level too much. I was stressing my body out because of where I was within my cycle. And that is when I was following doctors that were basing their results on men, right? Because for men, it's amazing. Like I love. uh, it's much easier for men to fast than for women. Men can fast whenever they want to, and their stress level, their cortisol level is not affected. Women, however, I love how Dr. Mindy Pell's organized. She had a course, and the way she taught fasting for women, that are looking to get pregnant, for women that are premenopause and in menopause. And it's fascinating. She has a book that came out. I haven't read it, Fast Like a Girl. I'm assuming it's the same as the course that I took. And I think she is, I followed her model, and then my results have changed. And so basically, there are certain times within your period where it's recommended to do intermittent fasting and extended fasting. And then there's times in your period where you're not supposed to fast. And within that framework that she has, she also incorporates what kind of foods you should eat, um, and also the type of exercise that you get to do. And I really like that because, and I've been experimenting with it myself. And so, in the beginning, when you first get your period, you get to do high intensity training and plyometrics and what have you. And then once you're done, then you move into weights, and you do that for 10 days. And then after that, right before, like 10 days before your period, you get to do yoga, stretching, Pilates, just low intensity exercises. And that really resonated for my body, and it really supported me. So, if you're a woman and you're listening to this, um, definitely try fasting and look for people and resources that um, speak to your age group, that are focused on fasting like a woman, because there's significant differences between men and women.
Awesome. I agree.
So I also know that there is uh, there's also dry fasting.
Tell me about that.
Yeah, yeah. So I've tried that once, and I've tried it in the context of connecting with the plants. And it was basically an offering so that I could better focus on the spiritual connection with the plants, and then with myself, with my higher self. And it wasn't as hard as I thought it would be. And I did it like I thought. Whenever I would hear dry fasting, I was like, ooh, oh God, no, I'm not interested in doing that. And I did it in the jungle in like 110-degree weather. It was humid, and I was fine. It was okay.
Lucky
It
for
was
us.
bearable. It was bearable.
I
Yeah.
can't
So
imagine 110-degree heat with no water.
yeah, you would be surprised. Of course, I wasn't exercising or like doing any crazy intense like physical activity. I was just, meditating and just doing as little as possible physically. But yeah, it was actually completely doable. But again, we are not doctors, so do check with your MD or medical practitioner before you attempt any of these um, ways of healing the body. And also, if you're diabetic or pre-diabetic, definitely check with your doctor, because for those conditions, you have to be very gradual and intentional on how you do your fasting. So,
I agree. Thank you for the disclaimer. I forgot to do at the beginning. Um, I know that there's a lot of like there's more and more information coming out about fasting, and I know that it's different for men and women. I also think it's different, like, well, you had also mentioned like how, like, with age and like where you are in life, but also think it has to do with like um what your activity level is, and what like your day-to-day stressors, and also, like, just people are different, right? Like, your body reacts differently than mine. Even like somebody my same exact age, our bodies are going to react differently to some things. But some of the things that we do all get like a universal benefit um from fasting is, like, it can help with like cancer prevention, or like inflammation in your body. And we talked about like our brain function, like enhancing our brain function, and also like cardiovascular health, like healthy heart. They sell us on things like Cheerios are healthy for your heart, but really, processed grain with sugar, not so sure. But and like you mentioned cellular repair, and what was really interesting to me, you mentioned diabetes, but I was reading about like it possibly helping to not like to help you not get diabetes is by fasting. And also, it helps, well, weight management and stuff too, but fasting will help with your insulin sensitivity, and making sure your body is getting the right nutrients. Also, like, that's just a basic like general flush of your body, and detoxing from stuff. And also I I keep going back in my head. I keep thinking of Gandhi, like, he's like the most famous fast, right? But that he lived a long time without eating, right? Like, it's a thing. And he seemed, I don't know if he was healthy or not, but he seemed to be fairly healthy. But it helps with like immune support and things like that. And also, like, helps with your blood, like, just the general, like, your blood and your cholesterol and things, I think, just to give it a good flush. And also, like, to start over, like a refresh, I guess. um one of the reasons that intermittent fasting is so great for me is because, like I said, it allows me only a certain time to eat stuff, but at the same time, It gives my body a chance to fully digest something before I go to sleep. Or to whatever I've eaten all day. It gives my body a chance. So I work out in the morning, so it gives my body a chance to have like fasted cardio and a fasted workout, which like works better for my body. And it's been really awesome to it's been really awesome to just see like how my body reacts to different things. Um, if food restriction is not easy, especially in today's society where like everything is so easily accessible. But it also has really allowed me, because trying so hard to eat certain things in during the fast, I make sure that everything is eaten at home and eaten like what I know what's in it. Like so I know everything that's in it. But you know, also I wanted to kind of emphasize that fasting may not be for everybody. Like I said, everybody's body different. You mentioned the diabetes thing, like maybe not kids or old people, or also like I said, I had to end my fast early, like really knowing and listening to your body while it's fasting and making sure that your body has what it needs, and making sure that this doesn't like it's supposed to emphasize health for you, not decrease health for you. So if any point it's not working for you anymore, like definitely abandon it, abort, abort, abort. But yeah, I also wanted to just really quickly touch on, fasting is a very spiritual. You had mentioned a little bit about it, about being a spiritual thing, but it's a very spiritual practice for like it's across the board on like major religions, like major spiritual practices. Um, so there's something to be said about, the thousands of years ago, people were fasting to like better their body, or to like I have like I'm just gonna use like Judaism for an example. Like, they fast for Yom Kippur, it's a day of atonement. So they're fasting to like get rid of their sins, which essentially, for me, like I can my take on that is they're like flushing their body of toxins and flushing their body, because it's right around the new year, the Jewish New Year. And so like just a flush for like to start the new year fresh, and like start the new year with free of toxins and free of whatever. Um they say sin, but I think maybe it had a little bit more of a holistic meaning to it thousands of years ago when they started doing this stuff. But I think also for me, to the spiritual, speaking to the spiritual aspect of things, is that it's it's a good time to connect with your higher power, or your goddesses, or your source, or whatever you call that. It's a good time to connect with that while you are free of crap. Like your body is purifying itself, and I feel like it's a good time to connect um and be at one with that, with your spiritual practice. Thoughts?
Oh yeah, absolutely. So I completely agree, and this makes me think of before I went to Peru to study ayahuasca and other plants that work really well with ayahuasca. The requirement before we got there was to um, go all plant-based medicine, to have no sugar, no salt, no, I think it was no oil too. Like it was very restrictive. And also like no spices. It was extremely bland. And the purpose was, yes, to cleanse the body of any stimulants, no coffee, like all these things, um, to cleanse the body so that when connecting with the plants, we were a clear channel and we're able to absorb it and connect with it better. So yeah, absolutely.
Agreed. You just mentioned salt, and I wanted to bring salt back up because you had mentioned it before in your water, like some natural electrolytes.
Mhm.
Other so I wanted to like the salt aspects. Don't like don't use iodized salt, like table salt. Don't use that shit. It's not good. Use like a good Celtic salt or like some trace minerals that you can buy, salt minerals that you could buy, but don't be throwing in that table salt. It's just bad in general. Um,
What?
sea salt, something like that. A good quality salt. Yeah.
Yeah. I was gonna ask, what's your take on Himalayan salt? Is that good? Okay.
Well, I think genuine Himalayan salt is great, but what I found is like a lot of times here in America, what we're getting sold as pink Himalayan salt or Himalayan salt is like processed shit from like China. And
Mm,
sure that has its place, but if I'm going to be eating like if I'm not eating iodized salt, like why am I going to eat this processed shit that's not really salt?
mm.
So I'll spend a little more money and make sure that I get like sea salt, like a good natural sea salt, or like I'll like seek out like actual Himalayan salt. But you got to be it's like the whole olive oil shit, right? Like you got the olive
Right.
oil, like it's like mixed with stuff. It's not just olive oil, it's like mixed with canola oil. You have to really read the stuff to like find the good shit. But Himalayan salt, if it's real, fucking love it. I also wanted to note that honey and lemon juice is also natural electrolyte as well. So um, that's actually my favorite. That's my homemade Gatorade is Celtic salt, lemon juice, and a little bit of honey, and I make, my homemade Gatorade. But and it seems to work for me. But anyways, I
That
wanted to
sounds
throw that
awesome.
out there about the salt. And I remember that restrictive diet, and I couldn't believe you did that.
Yeah, I
I
couldn't either. And I was working at the time, and I think I put on the biggest event of my career. And yeah, my hormones were not very happy. My stress level was incredibly high. And the place that I traveled to did not understand how to cook plant-based at all. So yeah, it was definitely a challenging time, but I
I
think
feel that.
all with purpose.
Yes. You came it out of it a better person. Um,
Exactly.
exactly. Do you have any last bits of
I
wisdom on fasting?
I do. So I know that you mentioned that in one of your fasts you felt really lightheaded, and that you ended up having a protein shake. Some of the things that I've learned about when you have those moments is to like put a tablespoon of chia seeds in a glass of water, let it sit for 10 minutes, and then drink it, and it won't interrupt the fasting process within your body, and it will give you the energy necessary to continue. And something else, also like if you do a tablespoon of MCT oil, that also helps you get something in you that helps you continue the fast without breaking the autophagy and the benefits of the fast. So yeah.
Awesome. Thank you so much. With that, I want to encourage everybody to please like and subscribe and follow us on at Phoenix Medicine and at the Worth Warrior on social medias. And there you can find our link trees and see what else we're up to, what else we are up to. And we will see you next week. Thanks for listening.